Hi there, this is Dr. Eve Ruiz, owner of Eve Spirit Speaks. I am happy to be sharing programs with you on my YouTube channel, Eve Spirit Speaks MD. I am also available on Instagram. I am here to continue this series where we talk about energetically engaging with narcissism, specifically dating a narcissist. We have more recently talked about the person who lacks empathy. I've called him the empathy extractor. I've also recently talked about a gaslighter. I am today going to talk about the future faker. Been spending time with someone who has been unendingly complimenting you and making you feel so flattered. If you are a little less experienced with this, that might be all you take it as. For those of you who've been around the block or who through friends have learned about love bombing, you may be onto them. But for those who, let's say, are flattered by the intensity of the beginning, when you move through time with this person, you may start to notice the other signs I was mentioning, such as the gaslighting or the lack of empathy. And you may have experienced moments where you just decide, if I didn't know any better, I think that I've just hit on some deal breakers. As wonderful as this relationship seems, there are ways that a narcissist will reel you back in whenever you are thinking about going elsewhere. Future fakers are those who will begin talking more resolutely about the future as if you had been dating for at least 6 months to a year. They may offhandedly mention things like marriage, moving in, babies. Also may talk repeatedly about that wonderful vacation you're going to take 8 months down the road, or all the traveling you'll be doing, but focusing on when you are into the future. This is where the faking part comes, because it's natural for people to talk about the future as they are going through measurable time together. It is not natural for someone who stands in her integrity or his integrity to be talking about things like babies and marriage when you are still getting to know the other person in a very early stage of your dating. Saying even those words, I love you, when you two haven't even gotten time to know about each other's families. You haven't taken time to learn all of the significant dislikes and likes about the other person. You don't know anything yet about their marital past or any details about any family issues because, my goodness, you've just started dating. You know that it takes time to see whether a person who is future faking really is future faking, because they're talking about next year, they're talking about other times in the future. However, when they are future faking, they will tend to be fast forwarding, as some experts put it, in the short time that they have been dating you. They are going to rush through with intensity the first few dates. The purpose of this is they want you to feel that there is more intimacy than there really is at the time, so that you will more quickly commit only to them, so that they can start working on manipulating you and making you their primary source of narcissistic supply. Let's give some examples of future faking that I've come across. There is the one who has said repeatedly, when you and I live together, won't that be marvelous? And they go to extol the virtues of moving in together. you haven't even talked about wanting to move in with that person. What they are doing is putting that vision in your mind, painting it very positively, so that you say, when times get tough, but look, he really does want to be with me. He really is serious about me because he keeps talking about these future things. Why would he talk about all these future things, or she, if they aren't serious about this? The way that you can tell that someone is not serious is when it's happening too much too soon, or it appears to be serving as a distraction from your seeing what they are really like, when you are not able to really focus on potential trouble spots while you're in the early dating phase. They wish for you to just flash by all the red flags they might be putting out. So let's continue with the story about future faking. This business about moving in together. Over time, you may find out that this person does in fact move. However, they find a place that perfectly suits themselves. And then they demand or expect for you to willingly come into that situation. Lo and behold, the situation would require your doing away with something that is very much your priority. And for you to prove that you are as deeply in love with that person, you will do what that person has said is the best thing to do. Is that person really wanting you to move in? Or were they simply future faking to get you perhaps to have sex, to feel emotionally committed, or in other ways intimate with that person so that they could start playing their narcissistic supply games? Another example is a person who says, you know, my last partner ever wanted to work out with me. I love spending time in the gym. I could just about live there. And I would so much love when you and I are able to go and work out together on a regular basis. Doesn't that just sound great? Oh my gosh, I'm so looking forward to that. And I can't wait. Then, when the opportunity actually arises, perhaps you get a gym membership or you're offered one to the same gym that this other person goes to. This is based on a real example. And guess what happens? Every time that you suggest going to work out together, the other person is lukewarm. And truth be told, after about a half dozen attempts or more to get the other person in the gym for that very desired from the past workout, you hear the person saying under her breath, oh my God, I work in that gym. I don't feel, the last thing I feel like doing is going back to the gym with you. I'm already spending so much time there. Here are the opportunities for you to be listening to something that is completely the opposite of what you had been told before. Don't ignore this. You know that phrase about hangry, being angry and hungry. That combination of coming from a place of lack can lead you sometimes into the wrong direction just to take care of assuaging. Let's not do this in the area of romance. Oh, incidentally, when you have spent a considerable amount of time with someone long enough to find out that they are indeed future faking, and you confront them about the things that aren't happening that they said would, and in fact maybe the opposite is happening, they will likely tell you that you are the reason that this future business is not taking place because of something you did, said, didn't do. The bottom line is this is a con. So they are going to put all the blame on you where really none of it belongs and say, well, because you did A, B, C, or D, we're not doing 1, 2, or 3. That can leave you hopping and trying to do whatever it is that would appease the person and undo any obstacles to actually creating the future that had been discussed to begin with. They basically have you in their little hand, and they will continue to manipulate you as long as you will follow. They idealize and love bomb their victims deliberately to groom, to manipulate, and to control them. They feed their victims all that empty flattery so that they ensure that their victims trust them. So when someone is doing that to you, be on guard. Have your radar on for this kind of stuff. If someone is declaring their love for you within the early stages of dating, upon what foundation are they preaching this love? I think we've had probably enough information about future faking, enough for you to be able to go out there and pinpoint it with people. Remember, the future faking is tied in with the fast forwarding. So if someone is just taking you by whirlwind, just watch out that they might not actually be capable of all their promises, and they might not be completely genuine on all those compliments. Not every single person who has ever done a future fake is a narcissist. All of us will exhibit a trait here or there. We might not be thinking that we're going a little off track when we do something like that. We might not realize that we are acting without boundaries sometimes, and we'll go into these things. But the difference between one of us who does that and an actual narcissist is that a narcissist makes an insidious pattern with malintent to lord over someone else inappropriately, manipulation, control, and at times mistreatment. So may do things to their partner at the partner's expense in order to make them feel better. What can you do in order to sidestep the pattern of future faking with fast forwarding? Hold on to your boundaries. Don't be giving them up at meeting someone. Dating is supposed to be about discovery. If you drop your boundaries at discovery, if you allow people to be saying things that really, if you're truly listening and registering them, you know they can't be realistic, then you are playing in the game with the narcissist or with the future faker. You're indicating tacitly you are game for this play, for this non-reality play of a relationship. All right, yet another episode down. You can take this information and run with it. Share this video with your friends because I'm getting more into the detailed version of what a narcissist can do. And some people, again, who may not have experienced it before or may not be knowledgeable about this, might be falling for it. Do your part to help save them from remaining in a long-term relationship with a narcissist, particularly a malignant narcissist. In the meantime, feel free to text me at 949-424-4494